What's up, guys? Mega Gamer Mania 1 here. Today, I am finally bringing my voice back to my videos. I hope you are happy. Hope you enjoy my videos. I'm going to try to make the commentary interesting, but I can't guarantee anything. One of my friends is in here, but he's on Xbox, so I don't think he can talk. But anyway, today I'm playing SCP-3008. Leave a like if you enjoy the video, and subscribe for more videos like this. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. I'm gonna start by making base. Try and make a base. I could take the one that's already made, but why do that? When you can have fun making your own base. I'm not making fun of this game. I actually like it. Sometimes. I'm okay with playing it. So the way I usually make bases is I put the walls up like that. I use pallets. I always use pallets because they take up the most space, and to me they do a good job. They do a good job at protecting you if you use them as walls for your base, and also roofs. And I usually make 2-floor bases. I don't think I've ever gotten to like a 3rd floor, but trying to get a third floor might be nice. But yeah, probably going to time lapse this. But yeah, let's move on. I'm gonna see if I can try and make this base quickly. Great. Okay, so I this is great. So, just in case you don't know anything about this game, when it becomes night, or if you don't know anything about the SCP-3008 lore, or not lore, but story, basically, SCP-3008 is an infinite IKEA. In this case, in this game, which is on Roblox, it is not infinite, but it's pretty big. And they used to, in the early days of this, they used to have a letter and a number on the columns so you could know where you are, and I don't know, maybe meet up with your friends. That's how I used to use it. But in the most recent update, they got rid of it, sadly, and definitely makes the game more difficult, I'll say that. But I'm looking at the chat a little bit. But it's an infinite IKEA. Once you enter, if you wander too far from the exit, or I think it's maybe even if you look away from it, the exit disappears, and then you cannot exit the building for a long time, until maybe another exit pops up. And I think there's like a rare chance of that happening, but in this game that's not a thing yet. But it would be good if they added it. That's food for thought, or not food for thought, but it's an idea for the developer if he's watching my video. That's an idea. Please think about it. But it most definitely would be a nice plan, nice idea. But anyway, when the lights go off in the Infinite IKEA, the employees come out and they usually say,
"Excuse me, the store is now closed. Please exit the building."
basically they will, well, what will happen is they're gonna kill you, even though there's no exit. So there's like no exit yet, and even if there was an exit, according to one of the stories, one guy exited the building. I think he found the exit, but then he died shortly after. For I think the SCP guy killed him, or he bled to death. I forget how the story goes at the moment. I might link the story in the description. I'm not sure. I don't think I will, probably. But if you go to the SCP site, there's a site that has a bunch of stories about these SCP. If you look at SCP-3008, you can find all the things that you might want to know that I might not be talking about or including. Yeah, it's usually not safe to wander around when the lights go out. And even though I'm doing that right now, I'm doing that just because I don't really see any of the employees or hear them. You know, I actually chose a good location because here's another thing. There are like cafeterias within the building, so that's how you're able to survive. You just grab food, and there are also medkit stations, and that's how you're able to survive. That's why it's kind of like a survival building game. And also, just a quick info about the game. Actually, if your energy drops down to 0, you will start losing health. And look at that, it's daytime. Time flies. Anyway, so you didn't see any of the IKEA employees right now because, well, they didn't spawn near me, but I might show them later in the video if I come across one, or just come across one intentionally. So I'll do that for the video. But oh my gosh. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, you get food from the cafeteria to heal up to. Most of the foods heal up one. They just add like 1 to your health. Which is why I usually get medkits, because medkits I think add 30 to your health. Let me check that real quick. Right, they add 30 plus health, but they do not up your energy. So if you want to up your energy, you gotta use the food. I suggest, if you want, I suggest getting spaghetti. That I think it's spaghetti and meatballs. Those dishes up a good amount of your energy, and they also you should also get the striped donuts. The striped donuts are kind of like a one-time thing. It's not a one-time thing, but it pops up. There's only one in each cafeteria, and I think they respawn. Maybe, I'm not sure. I think in the early, like the last update, they used to have what day it was on the top of the screen, and then it would say, like, oh, it's Tuesday, it's Friday, it's this. So usually the cafeterias would refill on Fridays, but now you just see day 34 at the top, and whatever number day, usually that tells how old the server is, because sometimes I've joined servers and they've been on like day 100 and I just joined. So that's how I know that. But it's very important to build a base, or find shelter, and like basic survival tips is, and it's kind of like Minecraft in this way too. You gotta make shelter, find food, and you also gotta find medkits. These are the things that Minecraft doesn't have. I mean, Minecraft has food, but you don't have spaghetti. That'd be a pretty interesting mod if there is one. Though I don't know how you would make spaghetti with the items that exist in Minecraft though. Maybe you can. I don't know. But oh, look at that. Speaking of the donut that I was talking about, yeah, this is why I would get the donut. Oh, and look, it also ups your health like to 8. But you see, the pizza ups your health to 1, the hot dog ups your health to 4, and the striped donut ups it 8. But I think there are probably like others that just add 1. Point is, the medkits are like one of the #1 priorities. Oh, and look, here's one of the IK employees. They're usually very well, this one looks kind of normal, but there are others that just look weird and big. Like, this one's not weird, but there are like squashed tiny ones. They're all hostile, and even though weapons aren't added in the game yet, like there are weapons, but it's kind of like a joke, and it's a funny joke, kinda. So I know people were asking for weapons, but I'm hoping in the next update he'll probably add a function, and then you can kill the SCP guys. But right now, there's just a crowbar. You can usually find them on one of the shelves, and it just says, "Here's a weapon. You can't use it, but it's a weapon." So I mean, it's kind of funny joke for when it's day, but when you actually need a weapon, what the? Please tell me. Please don't. Okay. Hi. Hi. Okay. Just gonna ignore that person right now. Okay. Phew. So. Anyway, main priorities. There's pretty much just 3. Make base, and 100% don't forget the roof. The roof's like the most crucial point. I don't know why you would even forget the roof. You'd have to be insane to forget the roof. If you need a wait, are they coming? Oh, that jinx. It's not a jinx, but it's like I queued it. Oh. Oh, okay. Here. No. Oh my gosh. What am I pressing? Here. No! Stop whistling!
Excuse me. The store is now closed. Please exit the building.
There. Okay. So, there. So, right now, It's nice. So, you always need to. Okay, I guess this person doesn't need to make it. Thank you. Okay. So, most important things. Making a good door is important. Making a base with a good door that you can crouch under. The ones that you can crouch under are really good. Also, ones that you can kind of slide past, like slide through by going sideways are good. Because those that really can't, like the guys can't really get through that either. But yeah. And then you need food and you need health kits, and that's about the extent of it. And tips for building bases would be using pallets for everything. Trying to build as lights went out. It is basically nighttime for the game. Then it would also be good to build your base by shelves if you can. Try and make them in between shelves. That way you have like kind of more protection and you don't have to build so much. I personally don't build in between shelves because it kind of. Oh wait, you can zoom out. Oh. I don't build in between shelves because I like making big bases, somewhat big, and using these kind of walls, because then one wall is already built, and then you can just build off, and use the wall to build your roof, and you can also kind of make a second floor after that, because you know one wall's already done and it's less work. So I usually do that, and I also try to make my bases look nice. It's not necessary if you want to, you don't have to make your base look nice, you don't have to furnish it, but I personally always try to do that because I like furnishing the inside and making it feel homey. It's also nice to kind of try and make a small like emergency shelter within your base just in case the bad guys break in. And by bad guys I mean IKEA employees, because sometimes depending on where you are, and to be honest I don't know where these guys spawn, but depending on where you are you could get pretty wrecked by the IKEA employees. I'm telling you, they are pretty savage. And one time I was playing with some friends, and they really just started jumping in like if it was their own place. They basically raided it. It was like a whole invasion. So that's why you gotta make a ceiling, and it's also good to make an emergency shelter. Is this place being used or is it abandoned? If it's abandoned. Oh whoa! Is this abandoned? I don't think it's abandoned. Oh, that's another thing. I used to make bases out of beds. They're pretty good. It also makes them look colorful because the beds have different colors. So if you want to make your base look colorful, that's an idea. What can I grab this? Okay, thank you. So if you want to make your base colorful, that's an idea. Another thing is, if you ever find a GameCube, you are going to want to take it. It's useless, but it's also rare, and I have my own hobby where I just like my hobby within the game, where I just take GameCubes and I like stack them up and try to see how many GameCubes I find. It's kind of like a rare type of currency. It's like you find diamonds in Minecraft, and you that's it. And most servers have like diamonds as currency for some reason. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I mean, not that like it doesn't really matter whether you get the GameCube or not. Not many people value it. Sometimes people do. Other times you might find it in a base just as decoration. And other times you find it in abandoned bases. Now, if the base is abandoned, by all means go ahead and take it. You know, because then it's not grieving. Like right now, I'm pretty sure this base is abandoned because I haven't seen the owner for a while. Not that I ever did see the owner. And the people on the side don't really care about this base, despite its riches in food. So that's why I'm ripping it apart. But if you don't want to rip apart a person's base, because it's rude, it's wrong, and it's uncalled for. Like one time, I was trying to finish a base for somebody, one of my friends, and then two people came along and ruined it for absolutely no reason. And that's the worst thing, you know. I mean, like, come on, how would you feel if you had that done to you? And I know that there are some people out there that just don't even care, but I mean, seriously, if you're gonna leave the game, do it without making people angry for no reason. You know, it's not fun. It doesn't make the game fun. And now I got bad guys chasing me, I think. Wait, is the owner back? I think it's a. Is that a hacker? I think that was a hacker. That person's was totally flying for a second. They had to have been flying. But yeah. Anyway, probably going to time lapse again. Now because actually, never mind. Ah, no, get out of here. So, in the meantime, like you can. Since there's no weapons, I mean, it would be good to have weapons because then you can permanently eliminate the bad guys. But, you know, in the meantime, since they don't have functioning... Ah! My gosh. They don't have functioning weapons, so you can push them over by clicking them or... Oh, you're gonna be fine. Like, the chances of a short one coming in are very low. So, another thing about this game, there are very short ones, depending on where you are. If you're by the little guys, you're gonna want to shut your door, block it up with something. But there aren't, from what I've seen in this area, there are like the tall guys, and that's another thing. The reason why you have to have a roof is because they can jump high. They can jump over walls like this. Like one wall. What? What? Huh? Okay, what? I don't. What? Okay, whatever. Yeah, you see, here's another dude. I didn't know you could push them through the wall. Kind of look like a Lego hand, but anyway. Well, anyway, I might end up editing out these parts of the video when it's night because there's not really much to do. If I don't do commentating, then I'm probably gonna cut these parts out. But yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait now because. Okay, yeah, he left. So yeah, see you guys in a bit. Alright, it's daytime, and that means it's time to. Okay, that was weird the way I breathed in. Jeez. It's time to get more of the pallets. If you do want to shut your door, I suggest using ladders. They kind of look cool. I don't really know why. They look cool to me. They kind of look like you're barricading the door with rails instead of just a ladder. Kind of looks like when stores are closed and they bring down those what do you call those metal things. I know they're metal, but they basically block the door, and you can't really open it without a key. But they're you know, they look kind of cool, especially if you use them correctly. Like sometimes I've come across pretty big bases that they don't even have like walls. Like they have walls, but they don't have a wall that's pre-built. They're just made from the bottom up, and you know, like those are pretty talented builders in my opinion. And one particular base used ladders in a way to make like the entrance look cool, and it kind of looked very futuristic. Like they used lights in an interesting way, and it kind of gave off like it's like you were in some future time period. Oh great. But you know, it was cool, and I complimented the guy who made it, and it was you know, it was a good base. You come across cool bases, and the base that I was finishing off was a cool base too. It was above one of these garden areas, and it had like a bed staircase going up, and over time I kind of like made it look a little bit better by making the bed staircase into a ramp. And you know, if you make things into the ramp, they're like it's like it's more I want to say efficient, but it allows you to save more materials, and it's overall a better alternative compared to making a staircase. If you make a staircase, you're probably going to end up using more materials, especially if you make one platform after the other on each side of a pillar, and then make a ladder going up after you've done one side. That's just a really, you know, ooh, ow, yeah. So there's a perfect example of what happens if you let your energy go down. But anyway, it's a really good way to save materials, especially if you use ladders and you just make them go straight up. I mean, it's really dangerous if you do that, but if you want to make it to the ceiling, and yes, there's a ceiling. It's very high up. I forget how many studs. I don't even think I've ever paid attention to how many studs it's up. Like how many studs there are, or like basically, I've never paid attention to the height in videos of how high up the ceiling is, but it's most definitely very high up. So I mean, if you want to make a base that high up, by all means go ahead if you're up for the challenge, but it'll probably be very time consuming. I will tell you one thing, it's probably very safe up there if you don't lead one of the IKEA employees up there, but it's a good way, it's a good idea for a base. Also, in older times, when this game was like a little bit older and didn't have like it didn't have the things that look like floodlights, like this, like this thing right here. Oh my gosh, stop bugging me. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Anyway, small work lights like this, they didn't have that. I don't even know if they had the throw function. Like now they have a throw function where if you hold down F, oh gosh, no. If you hold down F and let go at like the maximum thing, I'm gonna die. I'm dead. 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 I'm so dead. I'm so very, very dead. No. Okay. That could have killed me. I'm interacting with this right now before I make a mistake and die. Keel over and die. But you know, they didn't have small work lights, they didn't have floodlights. These lights, if you want to light up your base, these are the lights you want to choose, because they overall, they do a good job at lighting up the place. They're very bright, in case you couldn't tell already. Very bright, as you can see. Like, look at how light this place is. You can shut off the lamps. You can't shut off the... Okay. Yeah. So, you can tell that those lights, like, they just totally outdo the other lights. And the floodlights too. They're good for outside lighting. And inside, I usually use the small work lights as like spotlights for the outside for your entryway, but in this case I'm just using it in the meantime as a way of lighting up the inside pretty well. But it's overall a good choice, I will say. But yeah. So if you're gonna light up your base, the best choices are the tall work lights and the small work lights. They're the brightest lights you could use. But if you don't have any of them near you, you should just use lamps instead. And the best part about them is that you can turn them on and off. So, I mean, it's not a very good, unique function. But before, you couldn't even shut them off. Now, I mean, I don't know why you would want to shut them off. But, it's nice to see that the creator takes, puts effort into the small details and things, like creating functions for at least lights, and maybe at some point he'll create, you'll be able to open up the refrigerator and find food, and you could maybe he'll add a function for the toaster. I mean, I don't know what use it would have, but it's a good idea. Maybe at some point you could actually sit on the chairs. That's another good idea for a function. Maybe just lying on the bed to pass the time would be a nice function. Like, not for it to actually pass the time. I mean, I'm just mentioning these things. And another thing, you could add a function to the microwave too. There are plenty of things that there could be a function to. Another thing is, I would really like to see the mirrors actually work. I'm pretty sure it'd be hard to do in the coding, but because I've seen it done for non-movable mirrors, but for the excuse me again. But for the movable mirrors, for I've never seen it done for movable mirrors. So if that is ever done at any point, I'd like to see that happen, because that would be, to me at least, the first I've ever seen of that being done. But overall, it would be worth it. It would kind of create a link. It would make the game more immersive and, I don't know, fun. Like, people could just toy around with it. It would add a kind of it just make the game more realistic in a way. I'm not saying that it should be done. What? Oh, wait. I'm not saying it should be done. Is this yours? Oh. Okay, thanks. I was like, yeah, I don't know, this dude's just looking at me like, why'd you take my wall? But he said it's not a space, so that's fine. For a moment, I thought he was actually occupying the base and going to take what's left of it as his own, claim it. But he didn't, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. do that. Come on. I need to have some way of just there. And now the base is almost done. I just need one more pallet. And then you can use the base as like a template for how you should make yours. You know, this is a pretty good design. It's you know, it will protect you, and it will also give you enough room to move around and jump around, pass the time. And if you want to add to it, by all means, you know, and you don't have to credit me for it, because I mean, you know, I'm pretty sure this has been done before, but it's a good way to create bases. Good. Just to end this off, good bases would be bases in that are high up in the sky. Well made, well protected bases with either lots of space, either lots of space or a small space with this is all I have. Oh crap. It just had the water bottle I had. There is cafe nearby. Yeah, but there are pretty good bases, you know. Especially like if you create 2-floor bases, you know, more room the merrier, is what I would say. You know, you have more room for more stuff, and it also allows guests to stay. You know, it allows room for guests. And then there are bases like this, where, you know, if you just don't plan on having anybody over, or you do, you know, you can have two sides. One side's yours, and the other side's the other person's. Or, you know, this game, you know, really is all about using your imagination, or not imagination, but it's basically like Minecraft, but with IKEA furniture and no outdoors, and a bunch of pallets and bright lights that aren't torches. But in the end, it's a good game if you want to play a game that you know, is good, and you can build in it, and you know, think outside of the box too. You know, you can think outside of the box in this game. Think about what you can make that nobody else has done, that could be big, maybe a tower to the ceiling, or a small lookout tower, or just a regular base, or try and make your base look futuristic, with you know, unique ways of using the light. You know, the possibilities are pretty much endless, and with each and every person comes a different kind of style. So you can really run wild with this game. I really recommend you play this game. If you want a survival type game that's kind of like outside of the norm, you know, I totally recommend it. It's called SCP-3008.
The store is now closed. Please exit the building.
It's an overall really well made game, I think, and it still has more updates to come. You know, it's not finished, so you know there's still more to come to this game. But yeah, as of now, that's all the time I have for today, or that's all the time I would like to put into this video. If you guys liked it, please leave a like, comment what you think about it, if you want, and if you have any ideas for games that I should play, please let me know in the comments below. I'll try them out and maybe try to make a video on them at some point. But as of right now, you know, that's about it, and see you guys in the next video, and game on.